Okay, so we have a team battle, 3v3 round out, fighting against Cosmic Origins. Starting off, we have Shotaro fighting NaoShiki, and it's a Cairo mirror. Shotaro not exactly getting the best ride of the two, but since he went first and now isn't rushing, it doesn't mean much, except for the fact that now there are two perfect guards out of deck. That's never a good thing. Checked top 5 and didn't get anything, and now it's just attacking. And a 10k block. Burning Horn versus Burnout. And 10k block. And now Shiki is getting a lot of draw triggers actually. Right into Draconic Overlord the Great and just attacking. And that's a no pass, I think. Yeah, it's a no pass. And the Great versus the X. Well, Shotaro doesn't have field to retire, so that's not an issue. But a critical trigger is an issue. It is always an issue. And apparently the X just isn't going to be an option for Shotaro anytime soon, based on what just happened. Soul Blast and put one unit to the bottom. Counter Blast 1 for Zom to kill another unit. And critical trigger himself. And a draw trigger. And the end. Four triggers in the drop zone to put back into the deck. Just the issue that comes with getting them so early when you're using a Legion deck. The end added to hand because 2 Counter Blast means that the end ability could happen. Going for the rear guard. And it's allowed to be killed. And critical trigger in the end. She'll throw us at 5 damage. And all of the grade 3s are just going into the drop zone. Are just going into the damage zone. To say this is unfavorable is an understatement. Shotaro goes into Root Flare to kill 2 units, and now it's going to kill the last unit on the field. Was about to use Wyvern, but chose not to. Top card is a draw trigger, so got the draw anyway. He was right to do what he did. The damage is evened up, which is a good thing, but it's still in the danger zone. Now goes into Root Flare as well because all that Shotaro has on the field is a column. Decides to get rid of it. The question is, do you want to play another front row rear? And now says yes. Which makes sense because going all Vanguard. And doesn't get it. If now were to give the trigger to the rear, he would have had another attack and forced more guard out. Tried to risk everything on that one turn and it just didn't happen. For all the triggers that NaoShiki has been getting early on, it only makes sense that it wouldn't happen that way. So now Legion to return 3 heals and a crit. And Legion with Neoflame. Heal trigger. Wait, did you only discard 1? You're supposed to discard 2. Yeah, Sho has to discard 1 more for that skill. Perfect guards it, and a critical, so it was... Now was right to perfect guard it. The critical would have ended the fight. And now we have Dragonic Overlord, the ace. 26 to the Vanguard, not guarded. Restand at 31k, even though the power wasn't changed here. But no, take my word for it, it is 31k now. Shotaro calling units to the field just to have field presence. And with 2 triggers all going to Burning Horn Dragon, this is going to take a lot to guard, and now has no choice but to guard. And now it's NaoShiki's turn to get field. First attack is to Burning Horn, the rear guard. Sho blocks it. 22k to the Vanguard. Going for a 2 pass. Now doesn't risk it, and this time it would have worked. Shotaro has enough to guard the 26k attack. And Shotaro also has the ability to do the Great's Restand. So if I was him, I would say start by attacking the Burning Horn Dragon, since by itself it hits for enough to actually damage the Vanguard. Then on Restand, go for the Vanguard, of course. Uses a burn out to get rid of the intercept. Drive checks good cards. And now is probably counting criticals at this point. Two passes. A critical did appear. And it's all going to Burning Horn. Forcing out more guard, and now it's the end of the turn. A heal trigger late in the game. No criticals appear, so Shotaro can afford to take one hit. Gonna use that ability to take one hit on the Burning Horn that got the heal trigger power, which is the best way to do it. But it... Are we going for rear or Vanguard? Okay, so in the end, he did want to now decide to go for Vanguard. Lost the end for it. Could have used that to stride. NaoShiki, no guards. No triggers come up in any of the checks. We already know that now can guard one attack. Chooses not to guard anything because it doesn't have to. If everything it went to the Vanguard, then now could have guarded one attack because heal trigger was in the last twin drive. So now it's really just a matter of can Shotaro guard from here. And since this is a 26k attack, it's not going to be easy to guard, that's for sure. But that one card that's still in hand, he did not discard it. Shotaro doesn't guard the Vanguard because it doesn't really have the ability to. And damage check is another the end. Good games. Unfortunately, Shotaro loses this one. He was doing well near the midway through, but it just became a weird match.